guest is one of the newest cast members of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Did you watch last night? Me too. She's already in the middle of the drama. Take a look.
You are trying to revamp whatever the hell you had going on 55 years ago. You're living off your grandfather's legacy. You don't have anything for yourself. And you sit up here talking to me like that. Please, you're ridiculous. That's how silly you are. You're ridiculous. Ridiculous. The accomplishments of everybody before me don't matter. You sound stupid. Ridiculous. You're stupid. You're stupid, curb. That's what you are. Go read a book.
Please welcome Real Life Hot Topic, Porsha Stewart. Okay. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Congratulations on being a part of, the Housewives of Atlanta. You've indicated that you come from a very prestigious family, so why do such a drama-filled show?
Well, I really did weigh the pros and cons with my husband. And for me, it was important. It just came out of nowhere for me to be able to have this platform for me to express what's important to me. And that's my family's foundation. Hosea Feed the Hungry and Homeless. I thought, hey, this can take it nationally. So that's what I decided to use it for. And my husband was like, hey, I'll go with you. I support you. So
he must not watch
here I
TV.
am.
You know how sometimes we're in our mom caves and we're in our own world and our husbands don't exactly realize what they're watching. I just personally I think you being on this show is the stupidest thing ever, and I'm going to tell you why. And no, I say this on the count of love. Watch this. Because you, young lady, you're 31 years old.
Yes.
If you come from this legacy in the legendary city of Atlanta, and you've got this husband who seemingly adores you, you know that the majority of these housewife shows are not about perpetuating good things like a foundation. By the end of the show, your marriage will be torn apart. Everybody in Atlanta, you know how it works on reality shows. It's like you have what they would think of as a picturesque life, and you're just screwing it up by being on this show. Do you think Kenya's jealous of you?
Well, I'll tell you what, I would say envious. I don't ever say someone is jealous of me because I feel like that would mean I feel like I'm better than someone else. And I don't look down on anybody. I do have a great life. And if you have a stable life, you have a great foundation, whatever you get into, if you hold each other down and you just continue to be yourself throughout the whole process, I feel like we'll be okay. But I do think she's envious, and that's a spirit, and I pray that
that's what Joe and Teresa said over in Jersey. Look at them now. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Well, hey, if you're a cheater once, you're always a cheater.
Yeah. So we enjoy seeing the drama through the TV, but I have to say, regarding Kenya, so you guys' drama started off you not respecting her legacy as Miss USA. And what do you say to that?
Well, the way I felt was when I met Kenya, I held her in such high regards. That was one of the main reasons why I wanted to have lunch with her and invite her to come out to my family's event. It was an event for children, and it was inviting a lot of powerful women in Atlanta who have their own respective foundations and charities. So I wanted her to come be a part of it. She thought she was the guest of honor, but she wasn't. And so when she came
did she get paid and a car service to go to that event?
Of course not. It was for charity, and she was coming to support the cause.
Oh, okay.
So therefore, it was about the children.
I understand.
So I don't know how she got there, but I know how she left. But it ended
bye, Ashley.
Bye. But it ended up not being a good idea. But I don't regret it because I always look to see the best in people. But when you cross me, it's really hard for me to bring it back in after that. So.
Well, you were all doing a really good job of bringing it back in, and I studied the fight at the pool last night in Anguilla. You started that fight. You know you didn't have to backpedal and tell that whole story. And by the way, and Kenya, we've said a lot about you, and we probably will continue to, but you held your own very much so when you talked about your legacy as Miss USA is to be respected like your grandfather's legacy.
Absolutely.
You can't, and then she told you to read a book. I was like, what?
Well, one thing I will and I can say is that I absolutely respect her legacy. That's how I held her in such high respect. But when I met her, she was not the person I had looked up to.
What about her behavior flirting with everybody in Anguilla?
I thought that was just appalling. I mean, I saw half of it in person, and then the other half I saw on television.
Did you notice that she was hitting on all the men except for your husband?
Well, she knew better. We had already been there, done that. We had already been there. It was a cliff. That place was on a cliff.
Yes.
And, she probably could have found her way doing like this. So that might not have been the best idea.
called it, and then we heard about the telephone call on Frank Ski's morning show in Atlanta. What do you think about Walter being a play-for-pay boyfriend?
Oh, Lord, pay-for-play. Well, I tell you what, from what I witnessed in Anguilla, I don't know how he got there, I don't know what arrangement or anything, but from what I saw, they didn't have the connection. It was something...
We saw it through the TV over in Jersey.
But I experienced it in person, and I was really looking for that. You know, because when you tell me you're getting married, I know how I felt from the time we were dating, then from the time we were getting married.
Right.
And it looks totally different. And so I feel like they're just on two separate pages. Now, were they acting? Was he paid? I wouldn't really be able to say that. I don't know if I feel that way, but I definitely feel...
By the way, you know what? I do want to acknowledge Cynthia and Peter. I teared. Peter, you were a stand-up guy last night, but we're still watching.
He was good.
They renewed their vows.
Wasn't that beautiful?
It was really cute. It was. And so I understand you're also trying to have kids, and we're going to eventually see a miscarriage.
Yes.
In the season to come. Okay, well, thank you very much for coming, Porsha. It was nice to have a conversation with you. Everybody, The Real Housewives of Atlanta airs Sunday nights at 9 on Bravo. Keep it here. Up next, the handsome Nigel Barker.